Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be putting on brand new Flyin Miata suspension and sway arms. So this is kind of a how-to, more of a guide. I had to go with the instructions, so read the instructions, but also have a video playing along just for some guidance on taking out the old suspension and maybe some frustrations putting in the new ones. So that's what this video is for. I hope you enjoy, and let's get into it. Okay. Before you jack up your car, you want to crack all these bolts so they're pretty loose, so then you can take them off and have the car in the air.
Make sure you keep these together. You don't want to lose them.
Gonna want to take 14 millimeter and get the tops. What? So right now is going to be the tricky part because I have to get this out and push this down at the same time. So yeah, wish me luck. The culprit. Could be wrong. Trying to focus here. So I moved the sway bar. I'm unbolting it from both sides, and I moved it down right here because it was knocking against that, so I couldn't bring it down far enough. Okay, after wrestling with this for a long time, you need a 21 millimeter socket, and you're gonna unbolt this from your upper control arm. And it's gonna be a lot harder than what I'm doing now. And then you'll just put this right here and undo that. And then there's this really long bolt, like about that, and you slide it all the way over. This comes down and makes it a whole lot easier to remove your shocks. And pretty easy. Push it down, and this should come right on out of here. I'm getting stuck on my liner. There we go. Booyah. So with these, you want to take everything off at this top and put them on the new one. So you'll just unbolt this and just slide everything off. It should be pretty easy to do. All right, you got on this, you got a 14 millimeter at the top, and I believe a 17 millimeter right here, and you'll take all this off. All right, 14 millimeter off. You're gonna do this to both sides, and this is the front. 14 millimeter off, and then 17 millimeter off.
careful of that. So you'll have these rubber things. You want to make sure that this one right here, the one that's kind of the same, but this one, see how it pops out on the other end? So the one that pops out will go in here like that. And then you have that piece and this piece. This rubber piece on the inside of this, you can take out. And so I don't think you'll need this big dish piece anyways. Go on just like that. Big one first. Make sure you do not cross thread these. That would be a really big bummer. It's on. The small one on as well. Do not cross thread these. Try your best to put them on so they don't have any resistance to it. There you go, and there's your new shock assembled. All right, once you have it all assembled like this, you want this spacing in between here, so you'll take the top one, this top bolt off. Once you have this, everything on, the space in between here and here needs to be about 9/16, or for metric, 13 to 14 millimeters. So you'll tighten that until that's the correct length, size. There, and that should be good. And then you'll need to set your spring length. Now, the directions tell me that you need to be about 7.5 from the middle of here all the way to here. New thicker one right here. I'm just gonna thread this through this way. Boom. It's in there. Nice. Now that we have everything in here, the settings say that it should be about 7.5 inches from the bottom of this to the middle diameter of this right here. But there's a lot of clay in it, so I'm not exactly sure if that's gonna do anything once I put it on the floor, but we'll see when we come to that. Yeah, so I put the new sway bar in. I have it all bolted up right there. Now I just need to tighten everything. You put this on the ground, make sure your upper control arm bolt is all bolted in and torqued down to spec. And you want to torque this down to about 87 to 100 foot-pounds of torque. So make sure you got that torque down. Make sure after you roll it back and forth, you torque this down to 54 to 69 foot-pounds of torque. And the top bolts you will torque down to 22 to 27 foot-pounds of torque. And the rear is the same torque specs. Well, I'm gonna raise it back up and adjust it to make it just a little bit higher.
So I have mine from the middle point to here about 7 3/4 instead of 7.5. I liked how low it was, but it was a little bit unrealistic, so I'm gonna raise it up just a little bit. All right, so once you have this installed, it looked like this settled in the shock, how it was a little bit loose, but after driving around for a while, I drove about 100 miles, it works pretty well, and it's in there. What you wanna do for the dampening, which is right here, you go all the way clockwise, like this, okay? And there'll be clicks. I personally went all the way clockwise and then did 1, 2 clicks. That is a track setting. I have the sports, but I just want stiffer suspension. So yeah, that is how you set your front dampening. So what you're gonna do first, disconnect your sway bar. I just put this aftermarket back one in, just like I did the front. It's really easy. If you want to get a new one, you just unbolt that, and then you unbolt that from there. It's exactly the same on the other side. So you unbolt those, and then you're gonna want to unbolt these on the upper control arm. I put some WD-40 on them while I was working on the other side. So now they should be good, and this will give you a lot more room to take this spring out. I like to get a metal bar. Now if you have a longer one, this would be great for you, but it's really simple. Once it's all WD-40'd up, you take this off, and then you do it to the other side. This will go right here, and you'll just break it right there. There we go. This will just come out with the fingers, yep. Smack these out. Do it one at a time. What you have to do though is lift a little bit at the bottom. Will you yank this out? Push this forward a little bit. Oh. There we go. They sometimes can get really stuck. How do I get the other side? I forget. A butt too. Oh, okay. Nope. Oh man. Yeah. Oh my gosh. What I'm doing is with my legs, I'm pushing it up, and with my arm, pushing this forward, and it's giving me enough purchase to get this back one. Oh, but very slowly. Oh, this is what I was talking about. Okay. Loose, but it's not. Ah! Oh. Why is it so easy to put in, but so difficult to take out? See, look what I'm dealing with here. It's almost out. Oh my gosh. Oh, so close. I got it. Yes! You piece of crap. Oh, got it. Look how rusty that is. Rusted mess. Okay, now that we have the upper control arm off, we're gonna go up top. Your bolts are behind here. They're right there, pretty easy to access. So we got a 17mm bolt right here where the shock is. So I'm gonna break that.
this bad boy off. This just comes off with one side. You don't have to clamp it down on any other side.
That's good.
Okay, I think it's ready to come out, but I can't remember how I took it out. Once you have the old one out, you're going to want to take all of this off. Make sure you keep this plastic thing because this will prevent squeaking when your thing is all working. And before you also put these in, it's going to be offset. So this, you see how in reference to this, all of this is going to be more towards the left. That's going to go on the passenger side because on the axle comes right here. And you want this to be farthest away from the axle. So we're going to set that in. And then what we're going to do now is prop it up and put in the top bolts to hold it in place. Put the top bolts in there. We're going to push it up and just thread them in. Do not forget about the plastic thing that goes in between your shock and the frame. Once you are done fitting everything up, we want to make sure you tighten the top bolt and top bolts and the bottom bolt, and then get your upper control arm bolts in there. Make sure everything's tightened down to torque spec, your sway bar, and then yeah, it'll be good. All right, and the dampening settings I chose to do is all the way clockwise, it's full stiffness, and then 4 clicks back. That is what I chose. You can choose the sport, but I did the track settings. So the rear suspension, the measurement from here to here should be around 5 inches. I wasn't able to get it that high just because it was so hard for me to tighten these, at least before I put them on. But from the middle of the bolt to here, I did about 4.5 inches, and that works pretty well for me. So once you are done rolling the car back and forth, jack it back up, and then torque these down to spec. You can torque those down to spec, and I believe you can do the top, but the bottom, just thread it in, make it a little bit snug, but don't torque it down, and then torque it down to spec once you have broken it in a little bit by rolling it back and forth.
Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's been a while. My life got really busy all at once, so you're probably gonna see a lot less of me lately. I'm hoping to do once a month posts, but for now it's kind of up in the air. But I hope you found this video helpful and insightful, and if I did anything wrong, please let me know in the comments down below. I'm gonna link everything I bought in the description down below. If you found this interesting, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks.